Welcome friends. In your previous two lectures we have seen the principles of limit state method and assumptions in limit state method. Okay. So today we are going to see the stress block parameter for the single reinforced section of a concrete reinforced concrete, and we will derive some constants related to the design, that is moment of resistance constant, neutral axis constant, percentage steel limit. All these terms we will try to understand in this particular lecture. Okay, so let us start with this stress block parameter. Now in working stress method we assume that the stress variation is linear across the section, but in limit state method the stress variation is not considered as a linear. Here the stress block parameter is a little bit different. It is combination of rectangle as well as parabolic shape. Okay, so we will see in detail. So let us start with the stress block parameter and strain diagram for the singly reinforced section. So this is a section of a singly reinforced rectangular beam with width is equal to B and overall depth of the section is D. Now see, this is overall depth of the section, means total depth of the section. Then one more term I have shown here, that is small d. It is called as effective depth. Now what is this small d? It is the center of distance of reinforcement from the top of the beam. From the top of the beam. Distance of center of reinforcement from the top. This is your effective depth. And what is this d dash? This d dash is your effective cover. Means it's a distance from center of reinforcement to the bottom of the beam. So this is called as effective cover. Please note this term: effective depth, center of reinforcement to the top of the beam, and effective cover, center of reinforcement to the bottom of the beam. So now if you want to calculate this effective cover, it will be clear cover plus half of the diameter of bar. Half of the diameter of bar. This is your clear cover and half of the diameter of bar. This is your effective cover. Now, if you see the strain diagram for this particular cross section of the beam, so strain diagram will be linear, because in your assumption number 1, we assume that the plane section before bending will remain plane after bending. It means the strain variation is linear and it is directly proportional to its distance from the neutral axis. Now, see, as per our assumption in limit state method, in flexure, the maximum compressive stress in concrete should not exceed 0.0035. Maximum strain in concrete at outermost fiber should not exceed this value. So this is my extreme fiber. So maximum strain at this level will be equal to 0.0035. This is strain diagram. Please note, this is strain diagram. Then for this steel we have assumed that the maximum strain in steel should not be less than 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 pgs. So this is the limit for the steel. So on the extreme fiber I have mentioned the borderline values for strain of concrete as well as steel. Okay. Now we will move toward the next part, that is your stress block parameter of concrete. So now see, this is our stress block for the concrete section. Now in working stress method we are assuming that the stress variation will be linear. This is maximum stress sigma CBC at the top, and this will vary linearly and it will be 0 at the neutral axis. But in the limit state method it is different. So maximum stress will be at the top, and as per our stress strain curve of concrete, we know that maximum stress which is allowed is 0.446 FCK. 0.446 FCK, where FCK is the characteristic compressive strength. So now 0.446 FCK. Now this value will remain constant or remain same up to some depth. up to some depth it will remain same. Then it will take a parabolic shape and it will be 0 at the neutral axis. It will take a parabolic shape and it will be 0 at the neutral axis. Okay. So now up to which depth it is constant? Up to 0.43 XU. Up to 0.43 XU it is constant. Then below that 0.43 XU up to 0.57 XU it is taking a parabolic shape. It's taking a parabolic shape. What is XU? XU is the depth of neutral axis from the top. XU is the depth of neutral axis from the top. Now see, if you take the area of this entire stress block, this area will be combination of area of this parabolic area as well as this rectangular area. And if you calculate this, you will get area of stress block is equal to 0.36 FCK into XU. 0.36 FCK into XU. If you calculate this, you will get this value. You have to calculate area of rectangle first, then you have to calculate area of parabola, you will get this. And if you add both the values, you will get this value 0.36 FCK into XU. Okay? And if you take the CG of this center of gravity of this stress block, the center of gravity of stress block will occur at the distance 0.416 XU from the top. It will be at the distance 0.416 XU from the top. This is just mathematical part. I will skip and I have directly taken this value 0.416 XU and 0.36 FCK into XU. Okay. Now next, for calculation of total compression as well as total tension. See, if this beam is subjected to a simple sagging movement like this, then on the top of the neutral axis there will be compression and at the bottom of the neutral axis there will be tension. Suppose simple sagging movement will be like this, then at the bottom there will be tension and at the top there will be compression. So this topmost part, this top part will be in compression. So this total compression force will act through the CG. This total compressive force will act through this CG and it is at distance 0.416 XU. Now how will you calculate this total compression? So it is average stress multiplied by cross sectional area of beam. Average stress across the block multiplied by cross sectional area of beam. So what is average stress? How will you calculate average stress? Average compressive stress. For that, just take area of stress block divided by depth of stress block. Depth of stress block. Okay, so area of stress block is 0.36 FCK into XU divided by depth of stress block is XU. So this XU will get cancelled. Average stress is 0.36 XU. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the average stress. Now you have to calculate total tension. So first we will calculate total compression and then we will calculate the total tension. So it is nothing but the stress multiplied by area, cross sectional area is multiplied by stress multiplied by cross sectional area. So what is stress now? Here 0.36 FCK is the stress. 0.36 FCK is the stress. And what is cross sectional area? This is B, cross sectional area under compression. B multiplied by this depth, that is XU. B multiplied by XU. This is compression. Now what is total tension? Where is the tension? Tension is the tension will occur at the bottom. And as per our assumption that all the tensile part will be taken care by the reinforcement. So this whole tension at the bottom of the neutral axis will be carried by this reinforcement. So again this is stress multiplied by cross sectional area. Now what is stress in steel? So maximum permissible stress in steel will be 0.87 Fy. We have seen this value also in the stress strain curve. Fy is the ultimate stress value. Fy divided by factor of safety, you will get 0.87 Fy. So this is stress in steel, in tension, multiplied by area. Now area will be area of steel only, not concrete area. Yes. Okay. So C 0.36 FCK B into XU and T 0.87 Fy into AST. Okay. Now for this section to be in equilibrium, this compression should be equal to tension. This compression, it is at the top of the neutral axis, and this tension at the bottom of neutral axis. These both the values should be equal and opposite. So C is 0.36 FCK B into XU and T 0.87 Fy into AST. Now when I have to calculate XU, that is depth of neutral axis, we will get 0.87 Fy into AST divided by 0.36 FCK. This is one general equation for calculation of neutral axis depth. 0.87 Fy into AST divided by 0.36 FCK B into XU. Now next, what is mean by balance section, what is mean by under enclosed section, and what is mean by over enclosed section. See, this concrete is in compound material. The composite material is a mixture of concrete as well as steel. So now, what is mean by balance section? So balance section means when we utilize both the material, steel as well as concrete effectively, then you can say that the section is balance section. Now, when you will say that we have utilized the material effectively, now for our technical term, we can say that we have used the material effectively only when their boundary strain values will reach simultaneously. Now these are our boundary strain values, 0.0035 and 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES. Now when section or material in this section will reach both these values, when strain in concrete will be equal to 0.0035 and strain in steel will be equal to 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES. When we reach both these values in both material simultaneously, we can say that the section is effective section, we have utilized the section effectively, and section is balanced section. Section is balanced section. Now, what are the properties of balanced section? See, we'll now for balance section, this strain diagram is a perfect strain diagram for balance section. Now here you can see at the extreme fiber in concrete, strain is 0.0035 and at the bottom strain in steel is equal to 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.13 ES. So these are boundary values achieved by the section simultaneously. So this is your balance section strain diagram. Okay. Now for that, how will you calculate depth of neutral axis? So we will calculate here. So this is XU, neutral axis depth, and this will be D minus XU. This will become D minus XU because total depth of neutral axis is D. Now if you apply the similar triangle principle 5 is equal to d minus xu divided by 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES. Fy divided by 1.15 ES. Now, if you take Fe415 grade steel, or you can take Fe250 grade steel. See, there are three grades of steel: Fe415, Fe250, and Fe500. 250, 415, and 500. It gives Fy value 250, Fy value 415, and Fy value 500. Okay, so these are the three grades of steel. So we'll take Fe is equal to 250. So now for Fe250, Fy will be 250. ES means Young's modulus of steel, it is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. This is also in Newton per mm square. Now if you substitute all the values here, you will get x is equal to 0.0035, which is equal to d minus xu divided by 0.002 plus Fy is 250 divided by 1.15, Es is 2 into 10 raised to 5. Calculate xu. So now if we rearrange it up and calculate value of xu, you will get xu is equal to 0.53. Now for section to be balanced or in balanced section, depth of neutral axis will be equal to 0.53 d for Fe250 grade steel. Now if you use Fe415, this value will become 0.48 d. If you use Fe500, this xu value will become 0.46 d. These are called as neutral axis constant. These are called as neutral axis constant. Means, if you know that I am using grade of steel as Fe415, then your neutral axis depth is suppose 0.48 d. It means your section is balanced section. If your depth of neutral axis is less than this value, it means your section is under-enforced section. And if your depth of neutral axis is more than this value, it means section is over-enforced section. It means section is over-enforced section. Okay. So this is called as limiting value of neutral axis. 0.53d, 0.48d, and 0.46d. Now see how this under-enforced section and what is the mechanism of this under-enforced section and over-enforced section. Now what I have said here that in balanced section both the material will reach their ultimate state simultaneously. Now what if there is section is under-enforced? Now section is under-enforced means what? The amount of reinforcement provided is less than that is required for the balanced section. Now as there is less amount of reinforcement or less amount of steel, what will happen? The strain in steel will be much more as compared to concrete. It means that the strain value of steel will reach first, ultimate state of steel or ultimate strain value of steel will reach first, and then the concrete will reach its ultimate value. Now in that case what will happen? Steel will fail first and concrete will be later. Now when steel will fail first, the failure will be ductile failure because steel is a ductile material, so failure will be ductile failure. So it will give you the warning that beam is failing. So that is okay. So such type of failures are allowed in the limit state method. But what will happen if the reinforcement is over? Means reinforcement is more than it is required for the balance section. Reinforcement तुम्ही balance section पेक्षा जास्त provide केली तर काय होईल? So in that case what will happen? As the reinforcement is much more as which is required for the balance section, and in that case concrete will fail first because the reinforcement or strain in steel will be less. reinforcement जास्त प्रोव्हाइड केलेली असल्यामुळे स्टील मधला जो स्ट्रेन आहे तो कसला असणार कमी असणार आहे. त्यामुळे कॉन्क्रीट मध्ये जी स्ट्रेनची व्हॅल्यू आहे कॉन्क्रीट विल रीच इट्स अल्टिमेट स्ट्रेन अर्लियर दॅन द स्टील. So now in that case concrete will fail first. Now when concrete will fail, concrete is the brittle material which will fail without any warning. So in that case such type of sections, over reinforced sections are not allowed in the limit state method. Now how to decide that particular limit of reinforcement? What is the amount of reinforcement required for the balance section? That is called as PT limit. How will you calculate amount of reinforcement required for the balance section? Means amount of reinforcement required for the balance section is called as PT limit, means percentage steel limit. You cannot exceed that percentage steel limit. You cannot exceed that percentage steel limit. Means if your reinforcement is equal to balance section reinforcement, okay. If your reinforcement is less than balance section requirement, it is okay. If your reinforcement is more than balance section requirement, then your section is over reinforced, which is not allowed, because such section leads to the brittle failure, sudden failure. Okay. Now how to calculate that PT? Now please note these constants. How to calculate that percentage steel limit? PT limit. Now see here. We have derived one equation for XU. XU is equal to 0.87 Fy into AST divided by 0.36 FCKB. Now for section to be balanced, XU should possess this value. So we will take example of Fe41 250. We will take example of Fe250. So for Fe250, for balance section XU is equal to 0.53D. I will substitute that here. 0.87 Fy into AST. Now Fy is 250 now. 0.36 FCKB. Okay. So now 0.53. I will keep here multiplied by 0.36 into FCK. Now take FCK as a 15, means 15. We will consider that we are using the concrete of grade M25, so M15. So FCK will be 15. Okay. Divided by 0.87 into 250. See what is there? AST divided by B into is D. Multiply both the sides by 100. What is this? AST divided by B means reinforcement divided by cross sectional area. Reinforcement divided by cross sectional area means multiplied by 100. It means it is PT limit, percentage steel limit. And if you calculate, you will get 1.32. So PT limit is 1.32 for Fe250 and M15 concrete. Means if you are using Fe250 grade steel and using M15 grade concrete, your percentage steel reinforcement in single reinforced section should not exceed this value 1.32%. If you exceed this value, your section is over reinforced, not allowed. If your reinforcement is less than this value, it is okay. If your reinforcement is equal to this value, that is also okay. Okay? So this is percentage steel limit. You can calculate for the number of combinations. Means for 415, M20, M25, M500, M20, M25, M15. For number of calculations, you can calculate this value. In my notes, I am going to share these notes with you. I have calculated the value of PT limit for number of combinations of 250, 415, 500 and 15, 20 and 25. Okay. So this is all about the PT limit. Now one more constant is there, that is moment of resistance constant. One more constant is there, that is moment of resistance constant. Now what is that MR constant? See, this is tension and this is compression. Both the forces acting on the same member in equal and opposite direction. Okay. Now both the directions are opposite to each other. So these two forces will form a couple. These two forces will form a couple with the lever arm. The lever arm काय येणार आहे त्या दोन फोर्स मधला डिस्टन्स. So this d minus 0.416 actually when two equal and opposite force act on same body, it will form a couple, and the magnitude of couple will be equal to magnitude of any one force multiplied by distance between these two forces. The distance between these two forces is this d minus 0.416 x2. So now if we calculate mu, so that couple is nothing but your moment of resistance. हे जे couple फॉर्म होणार आहे ते couple म्हणजे तुमचं काय आहे, moment of resistance आहे, moment of resistance mu. So now how will you calculate this mu? It is force multiplied by distance. Now what is force? Force either you can take compression or tension multiplied by lever arm d minus 0.416 x d minus 416 x. Now suppose if you are calculating the moment of resistance for balance section, this mu will be equal to limiting moment of resistance, because only balance and under reinforced sections are allowed. So this mu for balance section will be limiting moment of resistance. त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त moment of resistance single reinforced section resist करू शकत नाही. Okay. So mu limit will be equal to force, that is your compressive force will take 0.36 FCK B into XU and d minus 0.416 XU. Now as we are calculating for the balance section, XU will be equal to 0.48, sorry, XU will be equal to your limiting value, XU limit. Now if you are using 415 grade steel, XU will be equal to 0.48. So mu limit 0.36 FCK B 0.48 D into bracket d minus 0.416 XU is again 0.48. Okay. Now if you solve this, you will get 0.138 FCK BD square. You will get mu limit as of 0.438 FCK BD square. This is for grade Fe415. This is for grade Fe415. If you are using 250 grade, this mu limit will be equal to 0.148 FCK BD square, and for 500 this will become 0.133 FCK BD square. Okay, this is all about the moment of resistance constant. So what we have seen today, we have seen neutral axis constant, we have seen PT limit, what is meant by PT limit, and we have seen this moment of resistance constant for the balance section, mu limit. If your section is under reinforced section, this mu will become tension into lever arm, means 0.87 F into AST multiplied by d minus 0.416 x. Now we are taking for balance sections. For balance section, you have to remember these three equations. These three equations are very essential. You have to remember these three equations. This is for 415, this is for 250, and this is for 500. Okay. So in next lecture, we have covered all basic parts of the limit state method. In next lecture, we will solve some examples based on the design of single reinforced section and analysis of single reinforced section. Thank you.